Hello and welcome to the second in a series of 3 webinars on the launch process. What we're going to work on today is section 1, the wealth plan. My name is Lyle Garstad. I'll be doing the webinar for you today. And our purpose under the wealth plan is to get an understanding of the wealth specialist role, go through the back office and introduce your Trinont back office to you, as well as give you a deep understanding of the core services that come with our membership. So step 1 in the wealth plan is to identify your wealth specialist. And your sponsor upline can work with you to let you know which wealth specialists are available in your area to connect with, and to get an appointment set with that wealth specialist to conduct your CNA, or confidential needs analysis. That should happen fairly early in your tenure, your time as an associate, within the first few days, ideally. And what that will do is enable you to establish really a financial blueprint. In working with the wealth specialist, they will go over your financial situation with you, determine what help you, if you don't already know, determine what your financial goals are, and then lay out a plan to achieve those goals. In addition, your wealth specialist can or will share with you the opportunity, the option to become a wealth specialist yourself. Let you know, what your income potential is, what work's going to be required to become a wealth specialist and maintain that designation, and guide you in becoming a product of the product, or getting your own financial wealth plan set up to help you achieve those goals. All right, so what we're going to do is now move on to the portal. So what I've done here is logged in to the portal in actually my spousal position, my wife Carol. So step 1, when we get to the portal, the first thing I want to show you is under the resources tab here, welcome kit. So this welcome kit has a letter and a video from Mr. Scott Bland, the president of Trinont. In addition, it's got really the 3 most important documents that we need in order to be building our business. So there's the launch sheet that we've been working on, the overview sheet that I'm sure you've seen a few times in the presentation you've been at, and a detailed portion of the compensation plan. And really, this is all we need to build our business at the most basic level. So what I'm going to do is, there's going to be homework throughout this webinar, and this is the first homework, is to go ahead and read these letters, watch the videos, and go through these documents. Make sure you're very familiar with them and are able to work with those documents as you're building your business. So we'll go back to the portal now. The first section that I want to show you is the Trinont Associates Center. So we'll click on that. And sometimes it takes a little while to authorize with the Associate Center, because we're authorizing, when we log into our back office, all of the portals all of the websites that are tied are being authorized at the same time. So what we've got here is your dashboard, and it's just summary information on your business. You can see a bunch of information here. I'd encourage you to explore on your own and check all of this out and get familiar with it. What I really want to work with you is this menu on the left. So the first thing I want to look at is under My Account. Under My Account, you've got personal information, address information, account preferences. What you want to do is go in here and make sure all this information is accurate. Make sure this information is complete, because it'll enable Trinont to be in contact with you effectively. And then you can set up your preferences to determine how you want your back office to work. So on your own time, again, to go through this, get familiar with it, complete the information, and get the settings the way that you want them. Next, we'll click on Reports and Downline. And Downline is where you can work with your team. This is where you get to see your whole downline, what's going on, and ability to access all the information around your downline. Now, the first thing I want to do is see where these three people have had the check marks in this monitor column. What I'm doing and having those checked is populating my monitored list, which is right here. And what the monitored list is really a short list. So let's just say you end up with, a few hundred people in your team as you built your team up. And that can get, when you've got, pages and pages of names, that can get pretty tough to find individuals and things like that. By setting a monitor list, if there's some key people that you want to pay closer attention to, people that maybe are building really fast and you want to stay on top of what's going on, so you're there to support them and encourage and help however you can, or maybe somebody that's struggling a little bit and you want to be there to help them get over those hurdles that have been holding them back. By creating the monitor list, by selecting people to be on your monitor list, you create a short list, so it's much easier for a handful of people, or however many you want, 10, 20, I guess, whatever. But it's much easier to stay in touch with them or stay on top of them by using the monitored list. Now, with respect to the drill down on the monitored list, there's also the ability to, so I'm going to go back to drill down, there's also the ability to filter. And so you can filter by level, you can filter by min rank or max rank. So if I set executive as min rank on this list and hit filter, it's going to then narrow down that search to only people that are executive or higher. So you can use all of these filters to simply or efficiently search through your database of associates to find people in a way that makes the most sense for you. Next thing I want to show you is the graphical interface, and this is for people that really like pictures or visual type people. So this gives you a visual representation of your team. What you see here is the name. If it has a red A, that means that the associate is active, their membership is turned on. There's two things that I want to show you here. If I go ahead and click on this add figure under Alexander, that's one of three ways that I can access, or you can access, the sign-up form or the enrollment form. What happens when you click on the graphical interface on the gray figure is it auto-populates, because I'm signed into the back office for Carol, it auto-populates with her ID number and lists it as manually placed a specific position, and also auto-populates the placement ID or the associate that new recruit is going to be sponsored under. So in this case, 3862 Alexander. So it's the most efficient way to place people exactly in your team where you want them to go. So we'll go ahead and close that. The other thing I want you to see is if I, for example, click on Brent, here there is contact information. So I've got the ability to now access phone number and email for anybody in my team simply by clicking on their position and bringing up this information under the distributed information area. So this is the quickest way that I can access information for my team, and I quite like that. So now we're going to move back and go to personal activity under reports. Under personal activity, one of the things there's personally sponsored. You can follow your personally sponsored team, retail services that you can see the history of retail services that you've referred, etc. But I really want to show you the orders. This is where we can access invoices from Trinont for the various things that we've purchased. In this case, a few little things in addition to the monthly membership fee. So what I can do is go ahead and pull up and print off the invoice that I can use for my tax deductions, because all of the costs of being an associate with Trinont are tax deductible against your income, which is awesome. So that's the quickest, easiest way. The receipts or invoices will not be emailed to you and won't be mailed to you. You come into your back office and you access them in this area here. In addition, there's downline activity and commission history. So you can follow your downline, see what's going on with them, and you can follow your commission history, etc., and see what's going on there as well. So I'd strongly suggest that you play with these, go and explore and figure out how to use them and gather the information, because the information to help you manage your team is going to be very, very valuable. All right, so now we'll close this and move along to tools. First thing I want to do is show you the second place that you can get to the enrollment form. When I click on the enrollment form here, you'll notice that because I'm in the back office, again for Carol, it populates with the referring associate ID, and it automatically selects auto place in the next available position. Other than that, this is the same enrollment form that you signed up with when you joined Trinot. So we'll go ahead and close that. Now, actually, I'm going to go back in. When you sponsor somebody, if you know where you want to put them in your team, then that's fantastic. But if you're not sure, maybe you're in a hurry, you got to do some thinking about where you want to put them, etc., you can just leave it as auto place. If you know exactly where you want to put them, you can go back to manually place, and then you can key in here the number of the associate that you want to sponsor that person to. So that flexibility to either leave them direct to you or have them be sponsored under one of your teammates is very handy. Now, if you let them or have somebody sponsored directly to you, and then you want to move them later, or if you're not sure where you want to put them, but you do want to get the person signed up, that's where the placement manager comes in. So if you look up here, this orange box has the number 0 in it. That means that this associate, Carol, has no associates that are in the placement manager. What happens with the placement manager is when a new associate signs up with Trinot, for 7 days, the sponsor has the ability to move that associate to any place in their team, as long as they are sponsored under somebody that or they have to be under people that have been in Trinot longer than they have. So you can't take a new person and put them above in the network, above somebody that's been in your team for some time. But other than that, you can place them in different legs with different members, as long as they're placed under people that have been in Trinot before they are. Now, you have 7 days to go ahead and do that, and there's a process that easy to follow that the placement manager handles. It's really, really cool that we get to do this ourselves, and it takes a lot of pressure off us as far as getting people signed up and being concerned about where we're going to place them, because we've got 7 days to make that decision. One thing to remember, you can only move a person once, an associate once. So think about it. Don't be in a rush. Make sure you're putting the person in the right spot. If there's a mistake, if you use the placement manager and you make a mistake in where you put that person, the only way to fix that is to call the Trinot Customer Service Help Desk and ask the people there to help you in fixing that mistake and putting the person where you intended them to be in your team. All right. Under order, here is where we can order things from Trinot. So for example, the 2016 National Convention tickets for Las Vegas for June, I could purchase here, or Trinot Life Bootcamp. Anything that's offered by Trinot, this is where we're going to be able to find them. Membership Manager is where we control our membership. So you can go in here and you can look at all the details, etc., and figure out what's going on with your membership if you like. I'm going to skip over email personally sponsored, because that's also present in the Message Center. So we'll go ahead and close Tools and open up the Message Center. Now the first thing that I want to show you is the inbox. And what the Message Center is, it's an internal, or I term it intranet, messaging system. So it gives you the ability to communicate via email with your downline, not your upline, just your downline, and in a way that is only accessible through the back office. So this red box up here on the right-hand side, if it has a number in it, that tells you how many messages are in your inbox. So you can see here that there's a message from Jacob Buklowski regarding the owner's tour in March that was sent to Carol, and she hasn't looked at it yet because I leave it open like this for doing the launches. But if I want to open this email and read it, I can go ahead and do that. Now, if I click on Compose, this is how I can send an email to my downline. And there's 3 different lists I can pick from. My full downline, only people that I have personally sponsored, or this position is personally sponsored, or the monitor list that we reviewed earlier. So if I leave it on downline, now that gives me the ability to filter who I want the email to go to. I can filter by ranks, where if I wanted only to go to, say, financial consultants or higher in my team, I can choose that. Or I could filter by a volume based on the amount of personal volume that that person has, whether the membership's turned on or not, location, a variety of ways I can filter who I want this particular email to go to. So I'm just going to hit submit, which means it'll go to my whole downline. And now I'm in the ability, or I have the ability to either build a message list by select back again, or I can compose the message. And here's, I just put the subject, I put whatever the message I have, and I would send it. Again, that email does not go outside to a person's email address. It stays inside the back office and will show up in the back office inbox here. So here we have tools and settings for the message center. Again, I get familiar with it and make sure you understand exactly how to use the message center. Corporate, nothing exciting here. Event calendar that's currently not utilized by the company all that much, but I believe the company's intention is to have events, etc., regularly posted here, so we'll skip that. And the support tab, what's I think important here is the contact information. Here is one place where we can get an email address for the customer service desk at Trinont, or the 1-800 number for the customer service desk at Trinont, and the hours of operation. All right, so we will now go ahead and close that, go back to the portal. The next thing I want to show you is MyTrinont. Now, MyTrinont is an awesome tool. It is a marketing platform that is included with our membership. It's very powerful. It gives us the ability to communicate with our prospects. So we can populate MyTrinont with our prospect list, and we can communicate all kinds of neat information. So I'm going to click on share a video, and just to give you an example, and I'll select on Trinont here. So you can see there's a number of videos that are available for me to share, to send to prospects. And so let's say that I wanted to send a video on TaxBot to somebody. They'd asked about it, or I think that TaxBot's something that this person might be interested in. So if I go ahead and click select, it gives me the ability to send that video to that person in a number of different manners, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, texting, email, all that kind of stuff. And so very, very cool in being able to send professional information that's prepared by the company to our prospects. We also have the ability with MyTrinont to create our own website and our own marketing, global marketing tool that can represent our business. The most important thing I want to show you with MyTrinont is the training tab. And what we have here in the training tab, the very first tab that comes up, is a series of videos, 9 videos that not very long, and they will show us how to use MyTrinont. So what I recommend you do is go ahead and watch these videos, at least the first few videos. First goal being, I guess, making the decision whether you want to use MyTrinont or not. I would suggest you do. It's a very powerful tool, but at the very least, do enough learning to make an effective decision on your own. Once you've gone through those videos, I would recommend the second tab, and that is Mastering MyTrinont. And this is really like the advanced level course on using MyTrinont. 7 videos here, I think it is, and they're a little bit longer. but good information on figuring it out. And the last tab, the fourth tab, has 4 documents, Tranont white papers. You can print them off and have them as resources, or you can just view them online. But it's printed information that will help you in maximizing the benefits of MyTranont. Now, the third tab in this section is education. And what the education tab, this is where a bulk of the financial literacy, financial education exists. So there's a number of videos, some longer, some shorter, that deal with a number of different topics around financial information, financial education, kind of the basic information. I'd suggest you watch these videos, and you never know what you might learn. At the very least, you're going to become very familiar with some of the material that is, part of the or one of the core services that we get with our membership. Scrolling down, we get to see that there's then some videos on personal development, which we all need on a regular basis, as well as videos on some of the core services that come with our membership. So I encourage you to watch all these videos, get an understanding what they're about, because that'll also help you in recommending information to either associates in your team, or it'll help you in understanding the value of the core services. So when you're speaking with prospects, you can pass that information on. So we'll close out here, go back to the portal. The next section I want to show you is Tranont Training. So Tranont Training is a series of videos that can help us in understanding the company. So we've got compensation training videos and the compensation plan document opportunity video, and the PowerPoint, regional training, fast start training. Then we get into videos on the core services. So Associate Center, there's a video that can teach you how to use the Associate Center, one on Defend and MyTranont and OneView. So some good training and information to help you get competent in your back office. TaxBot here. As we continue on, then we get into actual referral portals for some of the business services we can refer. So there's both PDFs that we can print off and share with merchants that we're talking with about referrals, and there are portals. So if we're going to Jive portal here, this is where we would click to register a lead, and I would go into the referral portal, and this is where I would put my information, the associates, or sorry, the company that I'm referring, the business owner that I'm referring, put their information, click to register deal, and that's how difficult, or sarcastic I guess that was, but that's how easy it is to make a referral for Jive business phones. So we'll go ahead and close out of that. So you can see that there's referral portals for VicTig, for Invisys, for National Processing. So this is a quick and easy way to access the referral portals for making those referrals. All right, so we'll go back to the portal. The next section I want to show you is Tranont Life. So if we go ahead and click on this, this is again training videos and documents, but this is on the financial services or life portion of our business. So here you can go through and get a handle on everything associated with the financial services side of the business. So there's agent orientations, all kinds of documents, and videos on various training. Here's a video of the actual CNA and product trainings, different case studies, all kinds of information on some of the products. So you can see that there's a great deal of information on the financial services side. For anybody that's interested in becoming a wealth specialist or interested in this part of the business, I strongly encourage you to take the time to watch these videos. In time of making this webinar, the financial services side is very close to being released. It's towards the end of April here, 2016. And so we're going to have these fantastic tools and products to work with very shortly. The information here, some of the information for the Canadian release may be slightly different than what's here, but the information that you can gather by reviewing this material will be very, very helpful in you understanding the financial services. There's going to be enough similarity between the US and the Canadian program that it's worth your time to go through this information. All right, so we'll close that and go back to the portal again. So what we've done so far is reviewed different components of the back office, and obviously this is like the home page for your back office, the portal where you can access all the different websites. But the services and the information we've reviewed so far gives us what I would call intangible benefit. There's lots of great information that'll help us with our business, etc., but nothing that has a direct dollar impact. The next one I want to show you, which is TaxBot, that is a different story. TaxBot has the ability to create immediate cash or hard dollar benefit for us. And what TaxBot is, it's a management system or software that allows us to efficiently and effectively maximize our legal tax deductions. So the two components of it are trips or our vehicle log. And the cool thing about TaxBot is that it using the GPS on our phones, we can set TaxBot to automatically track our trips. We don't even have to think about it. We don't have to press a button to turn on or off TaxBot. It just does it for us. So at the end of the day, if I've driven around, various meetings, coffee meetings, meeting with merchants, that type of thing, it will track those trips, where I went, the time, the duration, and the number of kilometers. And it gives me the ability to easily just classify those trips as either business or personal. And if it's a business trip, I just have to make a quick note as to what the business was. Went and met with Bob at Tim Hortons to talk about Trinot, that type of thing. And that becomes a CRA or Revenue Canada compliant vehicle log that is uploaded into the cloud. So we have the ability through the website here to upload information, and it's stored in the cloud. Also through our phone, and I can't show you the phone on the webinar, but either from the Apple Store or from the Play Store, the Google Android Play Store, we can easily download the TaxBot app. And that app is very simple to use and is what is the tool that we have on our phone that enables us to do the vehicle log, etc. Very, very cool. The other side of it is our traditional business expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the business expenses. So if I click on expense, and the first thing I'm going to do is go add expense. And what I'm going to do is type in the first expense that most associates are going to have is our enrollment fee. And depending on, because it's in US dollars, so in Canadian dollars, it depends on the daily exchange rate, but I'm going to put $480. I think that's probably fairly close at today's exchange rate. And then I select dues and subscriptions. Other people I know have selected professional fees. It doesn't really matter which one you're going to use. And the date, so whatever the enrollment date for that person was. So let's assume that person just joined on the 13th of April. And that part is finished. The other thing I can do is attach a receipt. So if I have a receipt printed from my enrollment fee, I would either scan that into my computer and just go into my downloads or my scanned documents and click on it, and it would attach to this expense. Or I could take a picture with my phone, and I could grab that picture, that image off the computer and attach it, so it's attached to this expense as well. Once I hit save, then voila, I've actually completed that expense. That's all I need to do for my expense report. And as I continue to enter these expenses as I go through my business, each week of the year, I keep adding and adding and adding these expenses. And TaxBot's keeping track of it all. And up here, even though because this position is not active, there's no dollar figures here, but as we go through the year, we'll see exactly what our estimated deductions are based on the work that we've done with our classifying our trips and with entering our business expenses. The really powerful thing about TaxBot is the amount of money that it can save us. I asked my accountant to give me an estimate of what the minimum amount of money, actual tax dollars, that we would get back from Revenue Canada, just from doing the bare minimum amount of expenses that an associate would have. And she did that work and came back and told me that at minimum, a person would get like $1,500 back at the end of the year, extra over and above, just because they're operating their Toronto home-based business. And if they're active, if they're actually out working and generating expenses, etc., well into the thousands. And this is not just money you're going to spend because you're building your business, but we get the ability to write off things like portion of our home for rent, office supplies, maybe if you use your home telephone, obviously your cell phone bill is going to be a write-off because you're on your cell phone all the time doing Toronto business. High-speed internet, all kinds of your utilities, natural gas and electricity and things, a portion of that can be written off. You need to speak with your tax advisor, your tax preparer to get the advice exactly how much you can write off based on how active you are in the business and your situation. But it's one area that we can benefit immediately is by maximizing those tax deductions and ideally saving a few $1,000s a year in taxes that we don't have to pay to Revenue Canada. Legally, we can make those deductions. So now, this one core service, TaxBot, in my opinion, all by itself, for most associates, will cover the cost of the membership fee. Just utilizing the great benefits or the great technology that TaxBot provides can cover off that $115 a month pretty darn easy. So really encourage you to get to work with using this. Now, to learn how to use TaxBot, the simplest thing I can suggest is if you look at this blue help button on the left, click on it, it'll bring up a video. And I'll just close that. But every page, so whether I'm on the home page or trips or expenses, everywhere I am in TaxBot, if I'm down in reports, there is income. You see the help button all the time, and there's a different video everywhere that I go. So you see here's a different video yet. So these tutorial videos make it very easy to learn how to use TaxBot. In addition, TaxBot has a very comprehensive YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube and search TaxBot and come up with a whole bunch of videos that will tell you about TaxBot and how to make best use of it. So we'll go ahead and close out of that. The next core service that I want to introduce you to is Turnout Defend. So when I click on Defend, it brings up my enrollment account. So I'm not going to set up this account. I'll just show you what I would do. So in setting up the account, I would fill in my name and contact information, everything else like that. Go ahead and hit Continue, and it will initialize or authorize this account under Defend. And there's the first section that you get is ID theft protection. And there are 6 different features. I can't show them to you because I haven't logged in here, but as soon as you log in, you'll see these 6 tiles, and each one of those tiles will explain a different component of your back office, or not back office, of your Turnout Defend, and how it will protect you from ID theft protection, how it will protect you from people that frankly want to take advantage of you through cybercrime. The second, if you click on the second tab, is computer services. This is one of the more valuable parts of, in my opinion, more valuable parts of Defend, and that is that you get your own personal Geek Squad that will look after your computer. So in this case, by calling this number up here, you can contact Invisys and get them to start looking after one computer for you. And the first thing they'll do is come and do an extreme PC makeover where they do a comprehensive check over on your computer. They fix it up, they clean it up, they make sure it's running fast, make sure if there's any viruses or anything, that's all dealt with. In addition, they put preventative maintenance things in place like virus scanning software and barriers and things like that to help protect your computer. Once that's done, that's a one-time makeover that you get with your membership. Once that's done, then iCare takes over. And with iCare, we just have the ability, as we're using our computer, say 2 or 3 months down the road, all of a sudden your computer starts acting up, or maybe you get a virus or something like that. All you have to do is, again, call this phone number, get a hold of an Invisys technician. They will come and access your computer remotely and fix up that problem for you. The one thing that Invisys can't do is deal with physical problems with your computer. So if you physically break your computer, you break your screen or something else like that, you're going to have to take your computer to a local technician and get them to fix those physical problems. Now, the next step that I want to show you is Cyberhood Watch. With respect to Cyberhood Watch, we have the cybercrime protection. So you can read, if you click on this link here, you can read about the different features and benefits of Cyberhood Watch and get a handle on what it'll do for you, how it can help you out, all that type of stuff. Coming back here, you can follow down here and see which one of these type of benefits and features are important to you, and get using them. To access this Cyberhood Watch, we just click this download button and download the software and use this software activation key to initialize the software. So there's all kinds of neat things. Depends on, you can literally say if you've got kids that you're concerned about on social network or their email usage, Facebook, that kind of thing. You can monitor and make sure that they're not being taken advantage of by some of the, the predators that are out there, etc. There's all kinds of neat benefits that are available here. The one thing that doesn't work in Canada is the crime and sex offender maps. Unfortunately, the Canadian government has chose not to share with Invisys the sex offender records and repeated criminal records, etc. So in the US, if you clicked on this, you'd actually be able to see a map of your neighborhood and whether there's any registered sex offenders, etc. that are living nearby. Unfortunately, in Canada, we do not have that feature, but everything else with respect to Cyberhood Watch works. So I want to strongly encourage you to make use of this. This one course service, we have the ability to refer to our customers for $65 US per month. That's the value of this core service. $40 of that is tied to the computer services. That's the value for having our own personal Geek Squad looking after our computer. But a total of $65. So between the TaxBot and Defend, that easily covers off our membership fee. And everything else we get is just a bonus. The value attributed with these two services alone, the Defend and the TaxBot, the value attributed with those two services alone, I think is substantial. Now, the last window I want to show you is Turnout OneView. So what Turnout OneView is, I'm not sure this is going to work with that login, but we'll see how it did. The last thing that OneView, or what OneView is a software application that's proprietary to Turnout that has over 16,000 different financial institutions reporting to it. And what we get to do with OneView is add accounts, add bank accounts, utility accounts, credit cards, mortgages, loans, our investment accounts, all of the different financial accounts we have. We can link up to OneView, and what happens is all of those accounts are live or report live to OneView, and as we go through the month, we have the ability to clearly and easily track how much or what our financial situation is, how much money's coming in, how much money is going out, what we've got left over, and most importantly, where we're spending our money. I think that's the most important part. So it will give us a comprehensive look at where our money is going. And some people might not like seeing that, frankly. They might not like seeing how much money they're spending on, say, entertainment, or how much money they're spending on clothing, or things like that. But I would tell you that using this tool is very, very important in getting a handle on an individual's financial situation. Once we know where our money is going, then we can make informed decisions on changes that we might want to make if we need to refocus how we're spending our money to better achieve our financial goals, for example. The wealth specialists that we work with are pretty well experts with OneView, and will be able to coach and work with us to help us get the maximum advantage of this software. Once we have that full understanding of where our money's going, there are some really neat budgeting tools that are part of OneView. Create a budget here, for example, where we can put a financial plan, a budget in place to have us managing our household finances in a way that best helps us achieve the goals that we're setting. So it's as simple as this to add accounts. Haven't added accounts and won't add one today, but I'll just go ahead and show you how to do it. So let's just say that Carol works with TD Bank. All I'd have to do is click on TD Bank and then put in the login and password information for that Carol would have for TD Bank. And once I click link account, then away we'll go. That account will be linked up to OneView, and I can go ahead and link other bank accounts, other utility accounts, all of those type of accounts, and make this work. So to show you how to use OneView, we'll click on the support tab up here, and it brings up two choices: View Help Desk or Submit a ticket. In View Help Desk, that'll take us to a place where there's tutorials on how to use OneView. Strongly encourage you to watch these and get an understanding of how to use OneView and get using this amazing tool. So go ahead and close that. The submit a ticket, this is the primary, right now, the main way that we can contact or get help with respect to OneView. So if I have any questions or concerns with OneView, I would fill out the submit a ticket, my email address, what the topic is, detailed description of what my question or concern is, and hit submit, and that will email that request to OneView. They typically respond within the day and get us looked after. Okay, if for some reason email isn't good enough, you need to actually talk to somebody. What you need to do is call the Ternot Help Desk, the regular Ternot customer service department, and they are in a position to offer basic telephone support with respect to OneView. All right, so we'll go ahead and close out of that, and we'll close out of those and back to the portal. So now what we've done is we've reviewed all of the portals that exist in our back office, and you've got a good understanding of the three hard value providing core services that are available currently on our computer. So I'm going to go back to the launch sheet, and we will we have talked about OneView. We have talked about Defend. We have talked about TaxBot. So we've got some additional core services that provide us great value that have just been released. The first one that was to talk about that was just released about a little over a week ago is Ternot Legal. So with Ternot Legal, each associate has a law firm on retainer. And the ability or the services that we can get from that law firm are pretty amazing, actually. Starting off, I think the most common will be consultation. in that any legal needs that we may have, we have free consultations. Everything that Trinant Legal provides us is provided as part of our membership, with the exception of some of the higher cost things. Like, for example, they're not going to go to court for us strictly in our membership, but we can go for consultation, find out what our options are if we've got, somebody that we want to sue, or somebody going to sue us, or something else like that. We can go for consultation and find out what our options are, what the costs are going to be, that kind of thing. In addition, we can get things like wills, estate planning, collection letters, even up to and including an uncontested divorce. From a value perspective or cost perspective. As I'm sure you're aware, lawyers are expensive. And so to have this service available is fantastic. So we'll check that one off. And the next one I want to talk about is tax services. Now, tax services is not TaxBot. What tax services is the ability to get our taxes done. So with Core Service, each individual, each associate has the ability to get one personal tax return done by an accounting company, our accounting firm partner, which is fantastic, right? Either people are doing it themselves, or they're paying an accountant, up to a few $100s to do their personal taxes. So that value or that benefit comes with our membership, no cost. In addition, if the associate has decided to set up a corporate entity, a corporation to hold their Trinant home-based business, and they've used Trinant to set up that corporate entity, if they've used Guardian Law to set up that corporate entity, which is back down the Trinant Legal, because that's something else they'll do. They'll set up the companies for us and all that kind of stuff. But if they have used Guardian Law and Trinant to set up that company, then that corporate tax return is done. One corporate tax return is done free of charge as well, included with our membership. And that's a huge value. I paid $1,600 this year for my corporate tax return for my company that holds my Trinant home-based business. So amazing value that gives us. If it's not an entity that's set up by Trinant, let's just say it's a company that was already existing, we still get significant discounts, but there will be some charges, some filing charges, etc. What we were told last week is up to maybe about $100 that we might have to pay for that corporate tax return, but the rest should be included with our membership. So we'll go ahead and check that one off. We've already talked about financial education and to a certain extent. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is when we were in my Trinant and the education tab, there was a number of videos on financial education. But the other components of financial education, our wealth specialists provide live curriculum. So there will be maybe an all-day Saturday event every now and then that we'll be able to take part in and just get a kind of a financial boot camp, that kind of thing. So in addition to the online material, there is live curriculum and the one-on-one interaction with the wealth specialist that gives us our financial education that helps us get a handle on our financial situation. And lastly, this service has not been formally released yet, but is coming very soon, and that is credit management. And this is a combination. It's not just credit reports or anything. It's a combination. So the first thing is we have the ability to pull our own credit report. Very important to understand what your credit rating is, because that determines how easily you can access loans, say for buying a house or buying a vehicle or something. And also what kind of interest rates you're going to pay, or keep, the better credit rating you have, the lower interest rates you're going to be able to get. So the first thing we can do is pull our credit report. Then when we pull it, we find some things on there that we don't like. Let's just say that, a few years ago we had was out of work maybe and had a few payments that were missed and things like that. So we've got some black marks on a credit rating. If that's some time ago, etc., and things have been good since, it's very likely that the company, our partner, third-party company that provides the credit management, will be able to get those removed from our credit rating, and we can right away repair our credit or make an immediate improvement in our credit rating. And then the third component is credit build, and what that is that the company will be able to, when they come on board, will be able to guide us, offer us coaching in how to change our behavior, our payment behavior, things like that, to improve our credit rating over time. So overall, we have a credit management system that will help us significantly. All right, so that is the review of the wealth plan, wealth specialist, the core services, and the back office. That should give you all the information to get going with your core services. And the big key takeaway I need to leave you with here is the huge value that comes with our core services. I mean, as we talked about, just with a couple of them, Turn On Tax to Turn On Defend, that's worth a way more than what our membership fee costs every month. You start adding in legal, tax services, the credit management when it comes, all of these services, fantastic value. I mean, we have the ability to profit by being a Turn On associate, even if we never make $1, just from the cost savings and the ability to manage our money better, put ourselves in a better financial situation. The value is huge. So I strongly encourage you to get using your core services immediately. Talk to your wealth specialist, talk to your upline sponsors or upline leaders and your sponsor. Get help wherever you need it, but get using your services and become a product of the product. Thanks very much. And coming up, we will have our third video in the series, Ways to Earn in Team Building. So have a great day, everyone.